And we are live, dude. What a race. What a weekend. Holy crap. But man, we got a lot to talk about actually. This race, I love that the basically from second on down, F1 has suddenly gotten way more exciting.
Like shake up.
Yeah, no, it's phenomenal. Like I'm actually really excited to watch the races now. Welcome back, Box Office Ham. Thank you for joining us, my dude. Definitely appreciated your previous comments. And dude, this weekend was amazing. I think we got to start with quali, man. Like, to see Checo not get past Q1 again was surprising. Was absolutely surprising.
Third time already?
Fifth.
Yeah, that's insane.
Fifth, which is proof of what we used to say during like the Hamilton dominance era, right? Like, it doesn't matter if you have the best car, if you're not a good driver, it doesn't help you,
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but Checo, okay, yeah, sure, the car is probably like balanced or designed more with Verstappen in mind, but we know that the car is capable because in the last race he started like P16 or something like that, got up to third. Today again he was like in P15. He ended up like
6.
Yeah, or even fifth. I can't remember exactly where he ended up. I think he gained 10 places, right?
Yeah.
So, like, the car's got race pace. There's no question. But he has not been able to put it down for the qualies at all, And I don't understand. He was He was at least second place, third place, like, throughout the majority of the season,
Yeah.
But yeah, so the weekend started with Checo just basically shitting the bed,
and also, of course, I'm not gonna talk about Verstappen because it's very usual to see him up there. So there's no such excitement. Yeah, but for Lando and Oscar Piastri to get P2 and P3, it's quite amazing to see how McLaren can bounce back so fast with
a single upgrade.
Yeah, and especially if you see it closely, they have the same power unit as Mercedes, and then Mercedes playing backwards.
Dude.
Yeah, and like if you see the race today, all the Mercedes customer is catching up, but Mercedes themselves is going backwards.
No, I see. It's not that they're going backwards. I thought exactly like you in the beginning, right? I don't think that they're going backwards. I think what's happening is the other teams have better aerodynamic platforms,
like
to start with.
Like the other teams are. I hate to say it, but the other teams are copying Red Bull's design a lot. If you see of McLaren, Aston Martin, and Williams, all these three teams has very similar design to Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what happened, but
it's the aero package.
Yeah,
and that's what I think it is, right? Because okay, those teams, they copy Red Bull. They didn't fully understand the logic, right? But as they've had time to do the upgrades, they've gotten the aero under control, and that's what's given the Mercedes power plant like the freedom to really to run, right? Whereas like Mercedes is still making tweaks on their aero package because they screwed up so badly that they're really on the back foot.
Yeah,
you know?
And you can just see like in the last few laps, Hamilton's trying to catch McLaren car.
Yeah.
And then he's up there. And then his power is just, his speed is just,
the straight line speed just isn't there.
It's missing.
Isn't there. Yeah.
So again, like it's not about, it's about the car and the driver working together.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the car, you can't win the race. So it's not concept. It's not mentality again. Like
like they totally messed up by not listening to Hamilton on the aero package. Period. You know. And they are absolutely developing for next year, but it's
not new. It's not a news. They keep on saying this for the last 2 years. So it's not a news. Come on.
But this is exactly it. They copied Red Bull. They were struggling to understand what the aero package was, but now they're getting it. But what to me is so fascinating, right? Like we saw Aston in particular, you know, Alonso like jumping ahead for a number of races, and they've fallen off the pace.
Yeah.
So like Mercedes, so it's not entire, like, again, I don't think Mercedes is totally screwed because they're still pulling ahead of Aston, right? Aston doesn't seem to be as much of a threat as they were just a few races ago, at least on these last couple of tracks, right? But then on the flip side, you know, as you said, Williams, McLaren, you know, both Mercedes customers, really, I mean, Albon, what a beast, you know? For him to get into Q3 and put freaking Williams in the points, like it was a magnificent drive. It was amazing to watch. Norris showed his true potential as a future champion, you know, which I have been saying from the start that he is like more than Leclerc. He is like the golden boy for like the young generation, more than Norris. Norris even more than Russell, you know?
Yeah.
Like he is really, really showing his potential. And Piastri, I didn't even know that kid had it in him to race, but he got the upgrades today.
Yeah, today is just unfortunate. Today is just unfortunate for him that they missed up the pit stop and the strategy. Otherwise, he deserved P3 for what I've seen.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't have predicted the safety car.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, this is what the race is all about, right? Like unpredictable situations, and then when the situation comes into your way, you just have to take advantage of it, and just like what Hamilton is doing.
Yeah,
he's taking advantages of safety car, and just like what Russell was doing before. Yeah.
So
it's not. So don't complain. If there's people complaining, don't complain.
Yeah. But dude, I mean, what a race! I mean, really. And here's another amazing point, right? Ferrari dropped off hard, man.
I mean, it's
hard.
Like for me to see Ferrari like this it's not surprise.
No, come on. They ended up behind a Williams, bro.
Yeah.
Behind a Williams.
And if you see Ferrari's record throughout the season for 2 seasons, it's been like this all over the place. It's been like this for a while. Like they were performing really, really good. Their pace was up there. They have the speed to fight Red Bull, but then the strategy, the everything just kind of just fall off.
I see. I'm at a loss to explain like Ferrari in this race, right? Like because if they had the insane power and speed, they wouldn't have been so far back, right? And yeah, strategy has always been their weak point. But to end up like 9th and 10th, right? Like that is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Insane, man.
And a big part of this has to come up again, still the strategy. Like it's a strategy that screw both Leclerc and Carlos. it's no doubt. I mean, their car is fast, but like Formula One is a team sports.
And their team is their people are dumb. I hate to say it, but they're dumb, man. Like they make terrible calls, dude. Just like as a test kid saying, you know, they have no understanding of their tire wear, you know, and they just make like bad call after bad call. But dude, for like really think about it, for Ferrari to end up behind a Williams tells you that Williams with their upgrades has like insane pace, right? Russell battled it out with Alonso. Even for Aston to drop down to 6th place is really surprising. I mean, if you watch them out there, right, there was like it was very clear that Aston was struggling so much to the point where freaking Lance Stroll became the usual menace that he is, and he took out Alpine. He
needs to leave, man. He needs to leave. He just screwed everybody up. He screwed all the drivers up.
He took out Ocon completely. You know, and like I
think there's a point where he also took out Gasly. His suspensions broke.
Well, was it? He like had issues with both. He just basically took out fucking Alpine altogether, right? The guy has no control, like he has no graciousness on the track.
He's there because of his dad. Let's be honest.
He is.
Yeah,
he is, and he needs to leave.
I don't think I don't think he deserves a Formula One seat. To be honest. I'm gonna be very harsh on him. And for people who likes him, you can go out on me, but he doesn't deserve Formula One seat.
I don't understand how you can support Lance Stroll.
Yeah,
he is the least like aware on the track. He causes accidents by being like overly aggressive when there's no need for it. Right? He has no race pace. He is not competitive. He is there because of his daddy, you know, and really, like, I mean, think about it. You know, like if we look at his position, he was 12th. You know, like okay, so he's not even in the points. So what is he contributing to the team? You know. Like, I do not see any way people can be a fan of or support Stroll unless they have, like, a latent attraction to him, like a sexual attraction. There's no other reason for supporting him. And even then, he looks weird. So, and I'm not a beautiful man, but I'll still say that. He's a weird-looking dude, you know? So, man... Get out of here, Lance Stroll.
He needs to leave the team.
Dude, what up, El Cap?
I mean, like, you know, like you say, McLaren it's always really hard to be consistent in Formula One. So now it's just the point of keeping it consistent for McLaren to see if they can be to see if they can be up there consistently, or because Mercedes, we know Mercedes can play catch up. I mean, we haven't seen like quite phenomenal pace out of Mercedes, but like you said before, like they are playing like they are closing the gap every single race every single time. So it's just time will tell if McLaren will fall like Aston Martin.
Yeah, 100%.
And McLaren, it's only their first upgrade. I don't know if they're gonna bring in more upgrades, but I think, don't quote me on that, I think Mercedes has one more upgrade coming in Spa.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I have to do research on it. If you guys know, if you guys have any clue, let me know. But but Mercedes can play catch up quite well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what really shows like Mercedes' kind of position within like the realm of F1 is the manufacturer's points, right? They are number 2, so that means they are consistently in the points. They're obviously not dominant like Red Bull has been this season, but they are still the number 2 team to beat right now, regardless, right? And just like Box Office Ham is saying, it is not easy to understand somebody else's design and to master it. But fingers crossed. I mean, today was exciting to see McLaren's real performance.
Today in last race was best 2 race within the season.
Oh, without a doubt.
And dude, I just want to talk about McLaren livery. Like silver. Oh man, that is really, really hot.
Yeah.
Damn, that's silver. I mean, my favorite is still this for McLaren. But yeah, that silver it just bring me back memories, man. Bring me back memories of Alonso and Hamilton era in McLaren.
Yeah. Honestly, like it's seeing McLaren today, the chrome, livery looked beautiful. The car's performance on the track was beautiful. Big props to Lando. For really securing his P2 at Silverstone, like at a home race. That was huge. What a phenomenal drive. Phenomenal defensive driving, even against the beast that Hamilton. Imagine having Hamilton in your rear view mirrors, dude. Like, the guy is a god at Silverstone, and even in a handicapped car, he's still a threat,
Yeah, like from time to time, I keep on saying this from time to time. Hamilton, don't count him out yet, because like you say, in a handicapped car, he can still do something with the car.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen it. Lando and Hamilton on the racetrack. It's like the one that Max crashed with Hamilton, the same corner.
Yeah. Go figure. Nobody else crashes there except Verstappen.
Yeah. If it's not the straight line speed, I'm pretty sure Hamilton can get past Lando quite easy on that occasion, on that corner, on the turn. But just to see both of the drivers going hard on defensive and offensive driving, it's so fun to watch. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah, it was very the overtaking, the passing, like all of it was just it's why we tune into Formula One. Like, this race really embodied like what we as fans enjoy. The last 2 races, actually, the Austrian GP, the British GP, like completely embodied what we as fans love about F1, and it's nice to see it. It's so refreshing because the season has been so like boring thus far that all of a sudden with the upgrades coming in and seeing Aston Martin make, big jumps forward, and now we have McLaren making big jumps forward, and even Mercedes, we have to say it, like for them to maintain their position where they've been at, to some degree, like they're still staying, in that third to fifth kind of realm. That's why I was arguing with you in the beginning, because I don't think they're sliding. They're still maintaining their position, but it's just these other guys are coming up and giving them a fight.
Other guys are trying to understand Red Bull's concept, but Mercedes are trying to fix their own concept.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you guys say, trying to understand other people's concept is harder than fixing your own concept.
Yeah.
So Mercedes are. I mean, I wouldn't say Mercedes are falling away, but Mercedes are just the consistency of the speed. It's not there. So it's sometimes we'll see from the quality, sometimes we'll see from the race. It's on and off. But in the result, they are always there to secure the points.
Yeah, I gotta say, I was so down on Mercedes after quali. This was not the result that I expected at all, actually. Now, granted, Hamilton benefited majorly from the safety car.
Yeah.
Majorly from the safety car. Russell kind of got screwed, which is a nice flip-flop because Russell usually benefits,
So for those of you, again, stop complaining. This is the nature of it. And I need to recall on Russell's overtake on Leclerc or Carlos on that specific lap where it was a nice, beautiful overtake on the Ferrari.
Yeah.
Clean, and it's so precise, it's perfection. I won't say Russell is a perfection, but that specific occasion. No.
Russell earned his money today.
Yeah.
Russell earned his money today. So anybody who's been watching our content for a while knows, I'm very, very critical of Russell, right? Because everybody has been talking about how he's this phenomenal racer or this very capable driver, right? And really, the last few races, he's slowly been showing what his potential is. This race, that overtake on the outside of Leclerc, I was sitting there like, "Go Russell, go! Go Russell, go!" Yeah, I was excited, bro. I was so excited. I had tingles, dude.
Yeah. Overtake, it's a textbook overtake that to perfection.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of the fake. You got a little bit of the inside, outside. You got a little bit of the hammer, flat out.
Yeah,
so everything's there. There's nothing to complain about. That's just a beautiful race to watch.
And again, this is where everything is kind of thrown up in the air for me in this race. I can't completely understand Ferrari's position because in the past, there's no way that Mercedes, let alone Russell, would have been able to overtake, the Ferraris in any situation, right? So Ferrari really dropped off this race hard, incredibly hard. And I don't have an explanation for it, Yeah. And what was really interesting to see was the flip-flop of the Mercedes strategy You had George start on softs and end on hards, and Hamilton start on hards and end on softs. That was interesting.
And Hamilton actually says the mediums on Mercedes work much nicer.
Yeah.
Soft.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this I don't know if George's decision is on team decisions or his own decisions. I don't know for that part.
But to his credit, he did stretch those softs in the beginning of the race far longer than any, because they I remember right at the beginning they were predicting that those softs would last at most between, excuse me, sorry, I was about to sneeze. I still may. Excuse me.
Bless you.
They were thank you. They were predicting that those softs would only last between 11 and 17 laps.
Yeah.
And he stretched them.
Yeah.
He really did. And he kept good pace.
Yeah.
So, like, when I say that Russell earned his money, he earned his money today. He showed that he is at that class of driver.
Yeah.
You know? And again, going back to that overtake on Leclerc was just
beautiful.
Chef's kiss, bro. Like, there were so many good overtakes. It really, for me, again, the contrast between what we saw between, you know, the overtakes between like Hamilton and Alonso, you know, freaking who was it? Dude, even Norris in the beginning with Verstappen, the back and forth that they had right off the launch, right? All of this throws into stark contrast why Lance Stroll is such a shit driver, dude. Like, I don't understand why that man has a presence in the sport when everybody else, it's like my criticism in the past of Verstappen, right? Like, why does every encounter with Verstappen have to end in a crash, right? It's kind of the same story with Stroll, you know? Like, if all of these guys can have all of these beautiful overtakes, all of these beautiful, like, side to side, dude, even when Hamilton was challenging freaking Norris before Norris's tires got up to temperature, man, they came around that turn and into the freaking, like, the start finish straight, just perfectly timed side to side, gave each other like plenty of room, and we're just going flat out, you know, like, it shows the talent and capability of these drivers, right? So if you're crashing or you're hitting other drivers, you're not up to spec, bro.
And especially
like,
another driver out of the race.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's you crashing your own, then it's okay. It's up you. But you crash, you take another people out. It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't work like that. But again, it's so nice to watch all these racers, all these drivers going head to head, and it's just all the drivers, the top 3 drivers. I was even argue the top 5, top 6 drivers has the ability to drive in perfection, but then it just all comes down to the aero package, to the power unit. Yeah. So, but let's wait and see, because it's we're not on summer break yet. After summer break, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a big difference. So
I still can't believe we're not even halfway through the season yet.
Well, are we halfway of the season? I mean, we are not in summer break, so that means
usually summer break, at least for me, is summer break is what I associate with like halfway through the season. You know,
we still got like let me see, we're about half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We still got 12 races to go.
Okay, yeah. So this was the 11th race of the season. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's the 12. Yeah, 12. So halfway.
The next race is going to be the halfway point, which is nuts.
Yep, Hungary.
This season already feels like really long.
Yeah. Yep, Hungarian Grand Prix, Budapest.
I mean, I appreciate, for example, the addition of Vegas this season, but man, 24 races, I kind of understand, why the teams have been, complaining in the past.
It's a lot of races.
It's a lot of races. It's a lot of races.
Let's just talk about that a little bit, right? Because if you have that much races, if you have that much race, it's not only the logistic, it's not only the energy of the guys in the factory, the guys who drive the car.
Yeah.
It's also the reliability issue of the car. The engines, the performance.
With the budget cap.
Yeah, and the budget cap. So it's a hell.
Yeah. No, they're absolutely stretching the limits of what is feasible with a budget cap, the energy of the people, like you said, plus the reliability.
Yep.
It's crazy.
And
it's absolutely crazy.
Normally, we will start seeing like power unit change up to this point. But we haven't seen any power unit change up to this point yet.
No, the only one was Magnussen today. Yeah. Was it Magnussen or Hulkenberg that caught on fire?
Magnussen.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm saying like a working power unit, but because reliability issues, change in the next race and then have penalties. But we haven't seen that yet in this season, which means all the teams are stretching their leg, like stretching their budget and stretching their parts to second half of the race because they have to save some of that for the race.
Yeah,
for the season to go.
Oh yeah. It's getting crazy, man.
And especially we are not inspired. Spa is it's one of those races that I'm so looking into it.
Yeah, so Spa is such a phenomenal track, such an amazing track. But dude, this is a great question from Box Office Ham. Do you think Red Bull will fire Perez if he loses his P2? What do you think?
I don't think he will be fired, but he will be probably gonna be there for another year, and if he doesn't perform, they will be fire him. But I don't think they're gonna be fire him next season.
Dude, I don't know, man. Like 5 consecutive races where he hasn't gotten a Q1 in the quali is bad.
It's very dangerous.
Even really bad.
Even Max said that RB19 or that car needs to be in Q1 in Q3.
Yeah.
But
I
don't know.
I think if there's anybody right now on the grid whose position with their respective teams are at risk or should be at risk, it's definitely Perez. There's no question about it. Like, Perez has not been able to get the performance the last 2 seasons out of the car that is equivalent to Verstappen. And I know that Red Bull is like hammering him on why he's not performing at the same level. I mean, think about how unforgiving and how much of a bastard Helmut Marko is, right? Here's the thing. For my immense dislike of Helmut Marko, one thing is fundamentally true about the guy is his standards for performance are incredibly high, right? So really, if Perez is not up to spec, they're going to look to get rid of him like as quickly as possible. That's the Red Bull way.
Yeah.
Look at what they did to Albon.
Yeah.
So yeah. Exactly. Right. So I think that really Perez's seat is in danger, and I think that Lance Stroll's seat should be in danger if it isn't.
I just don't get it, man. Lance Stroll.
Yeah.
If you're listening, just leave the team. You don't deserve it. I mean, I don't like I know I can't judge you any more than that, but
no. Lance Stroll has not been performing really well. Now, speaking of not performing well, I'm not sure what's going on with, Alfa Romeo, right? Zhou was doing great. All of a sudden, he's slipping back. Bottas, man, after coming away from Mercedes, has been basically non-existent in the race.
Yeah.
Right? AlphaTauri, again, really poor performance out there.
It's AlphaTauri even in the race today?
Right? Exactly. Exactly.
Wait, is Yuki even in the race today?
Dude, I mean, you wouldn't know because he was back in freaking 16th and De Vries was in 7th.
Okay.
The only person who was behind them was Zhou, which is crazy. Like, how is Zhou back in 18th? He's such a good and talented driver. Like, something's going on with Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri that I just cannot wrap my head around, and it's not the aero package, it's not lack of driver skill, but those two teams now are completely last place. Freaking Williams is jumping ahead of them. Yeah. Williams, which is typically, I mean, think about like the Latifi era, and now, and even they had Albon back then. Now they have a good platform. 13th. Sargent was 13th. Yeah. Albon got his way up into the top 10. Yeah. So I have no explanation or understanding whatsoever for the current performance of those two teams.
I don't know.
Yeah,
they are disappearing.
quite literally, and that's because, and the reason I bring them up, because okay, think about it like this: we were just talking about drivers or people who their seats may be at risk, right? You would immediately think okay, who can we bring up from the lower ranks, or from the midfield teams? But here are 4 drivers, Zhou, Bottas, Tsunoda, and De Vries, who they're not showing any glimpses. So you're not going to pull from them, right? Albon is showing that he may have potential to jump to a higher level team, but I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. Alonso is Alonso,
It's still really nice to see Alonso and Hamilton.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think everybody wants to see more of those.
I mean, it's a very easy pass for Hamilton straight.
Yeah.
But it's still nice to see them just having fun out there.
Yeah. The again, immense respect. Immense sort of understanding of one another for sure. It's awesome.
I mean, they are the 2 veterans on the court, on the racetrack.
LCAP, my answer to that is no.
No.
Maybe with a different car. I just don't think with Ferrari, he does not seem to be able to develop an understanding of the limits of the car, we talked about this in our last live, right? The best possible team that Leclerc could be with is Red Bull. And Joe made the point, so credit goes to Joe for this, right?
I don't even remember what I said.
I remember it for you, right? So Sainz versus Leclerc, as far as drivers go, Sainz is a thinking driver, right? So he does well with the team. For example, he would do well with Mercedes, where he can express his own thoughts, give his own feedback, and make decisions dynamically within the race, right? But Red Bull dictates to their drivers what they should be doing, right? And that would suit Leclerc, where Leclerc is not much of a thinking driver. He's more of an instinct driver, And so, realistically speaking, Leclerc would probably do better with a team like Red Bull, where he really could just kind of sit back, be told what's the best way to go, what's the best strategy to take, and just continue forward, So, realistically speaking, that's just, I think, his best route to consistency. But with Ferrari, it'll never happen, mainly because their strategy sucks, and he doesn't have. Yeah, like.
Yeah, let's be honest. Carlos is outperforming Leclerc on so many occasions.
Consistently.
Yeah, consistently. Yeah. So my answer to that is maybe Carlos can be the consistent performance for Ferrari.
Yeah. And yeah, by the way, pipe down Andre Thomas. Just because he has like 1.5 championships doesn't make him king. He could ride the coattails of Verstappen's lead. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's exactly what we had for last live stream. We'll say, like, Leclerc, it's the guy who he doesn't really use, I don't want to say he doesn't use his brain to drive, but he uses a lot of his instinct to drive.
He is an instinctual driver more than anything.
So I feel like Red Bull's car is more for that.
Right. And even as a team, they foster instinctual drivers really well.
And because if you've seen a lot of 2021 or even 2020, the strategy that Red Bull is calling is all about instinct. Like, take risk and instinct. That's Red Bull in that era.
Yeah.
So like Leclerc we feel like Leclerc can fit great in that seat.
Yeah. But the thing is, at this stage, right, out of the new generation, I fundamentally don't believe that Leclerc is a world champion. I don't. Like, I said it before and I'll say it again. Out of all of the new generation, I would put my money on Norris. Yeah. I would absolutely, and today showed it. Really, like, Norris's ability. He is both. What makes him unique, I feel, is that he is both a thinking and instinctual driver at the same time. He's a little bit of brains, a little bit of instinct, both. Whereas Leclerc, being pure instinct, he really, really needs to have almost like a perfectly set up vehicle that he can find the limits of and then just drive those limits, and that's it. And he'll lean really hard on the team for the strategy, Hamilton is kind of, or Norris is more like Hamilton. Hamilton is a bit of thinking, a bit of instinct, and that seems to be the best mix. Whereas, like, you look at Sainz is very heavily a thinking driver. Do I think Sainz has the potential to be a world champion? Maybe more than Leclerc.
Yeah.
For example, Yeah. Norris is super talented for sure.
He's so underrated too. Like, nobody really talk about him, but today shows that he can be up there with the great.
Yeah, absolutely. And Leclerc, this is exactly right. As a test kids, like Leclerc folds under pressure, self-induced pressure, and that's the problem with the purely instinctual drive. It's the problem with both a purely instinctual driver and a thinking driver. A thinking driver can overthink a situation and put themselves into a bad strategy, whereas like a instinctual driver can get too emotional and also make the wrong decisions. You need to have that balance, right? That's why, you know, I hate to say it, Verstappen is that mix. Also, he is a little bit of thinking, little bit of instinct. Hamilton is a little bit of thinking, little bit of instinct. It seems to be the mix of what makes the best drivers.
Yeah.
You know, completely.
Yeah.
You know.
One thing that we can give Hamilton or not Hamilton, Verstappen the prop is he's consistent. He is very consistent.
Consistent. Yeah.
And if he can be consistent in the car, obviously Red Bull provide him a great car, like championship winning car. That's why he can be so far up the field.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. No, honestly, you know, Lando is champion quality for sure.
And let's hope that McLaren doesn't fall apart again, because we've seen that like on several occasions. They get an upgrade, they got performance in, and then all of a sudden next
few
races went off again.
Yeah.
Back to normal. Back to their original spot.
Yeah, in the midfield. I hope so too, man, because like I bet you right now, and I have to take this dig just because I'm that kind of jerk, I'm that kind of asshole, you know? But man, I bet you Daniel Ricciardo is kicking himself for leaving McLaren right now.
Back to McLaren. I should probably go back to McLaren.
Oh man, if I could have been at McLaren right now, I would have been in, P2, like calm down, Daniel Rick. Calm down, Danny Rick. Man. Dude, I think we all are waiting for somebody to challenge Max. I don't think we're realistically going to see a proper challenge until next year. A lot of this has to do with the aero package.
I don't think we'll see anything that come close to Max. If Mercedes has their aero package fixed and let Hamilton drive the car.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Hamilton is still the one that can challenge Max and put Max on pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, just because Max and Hamilton doesn't go along, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Even though you see them laugh and in the press conference, in the call room, but when it comes to on-track action, I don't think they're gonna go along.
Yeah.
And just by that, Hamilton can give Max a pressure, and maybe he can fall off.
Yeah, dude, this is it. Now, having said that, he was dominant last year. It was a slightly different car. I say slightly, but I think really what will be the test of this statement right here will be the 2026 regs, honestly. But be prepared, you guys. Be prepared that Red Bull may dominate until 2026, realistically speaking.
Yeah, because they are so far ahead of the development. And like what Hamilton was saying on the press, or not on the press, but on news, I mean, obviously I feel like that's a little bit stupid, but he say that FIA needs to do something about dominate manufacturer, because he says maybe give starting to develop next year's car within a certain amount of time. Don't start
Yeah.
so early. And obviously, teams doesn't want that, but you can just see by that sentence, by the quote, you can just see how far ahead Red Bull is. Maybe, who knows, even maybe Red Bull is they are starting to develop 2026 cars already.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, 2024 is coming up, but I'm pretty sure they have 2024 now in already.
Yeah.
They are so far ahead.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, I don't think that they would necessarily, unless they see some major advancement from another team, I don't even think they need to change the package that much from what they have now.
I mean, that's what happened to these last year to this year. They don't change.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
They're that far ahead.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And especially when Red Bull is going to have their own engine manufacturer.
Right, right.
So, unless Mercedes or other Mercedes customer teams has something in their bank, like technology-wise or like secret sauce or something, I don't think people are gonna catch up.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing: they have pinpointed where Red Bull is getting their performance. One, it's the floor, and two, it is the rear and how it handles. Yeah, how it behaves under like DRS and non-DRS situations, right? Like you could see even from the start of the race that when Verstappen didn't have DRS against Norris, he wasn't quite able to like get up and overtake. The second he had DRS, though, that thing became a rocket ship. Yeah, and
it's the way they develop the whole car on the DRS regulations, basically.
Yeah, basically. I think one of the ways that they could actually really catch Red Bull off is if they got rid of DRS completely.
That's exactly what I want to say. DRS makes the race feels so easy for Red Bull.
Yeah, exactly. Because
the whole car is like drag reduction system.
Yeah, it is.
The whole car is like that.
Yeah,
and which is genius for them to design something like that, because
100%.
You want the bigger performance on the DRS, like the flap, on the open.
Yeah,
flap.
I mean, think about even like the times when Verstappen has been low down, and he's been in like started in P12 or whatever, P14, and he's been able to overtake all the way up to P1 this season, right? We've seen it more than once. Look at even Checo. Checo started in, P15 and he got up to P5.
Even last race, he got up into what podium position?
Right. He got into P3, right? So it is based heavily around DRS. Yeah. Now, this is true also. That car is designed specifically around Verstappen. Like, there's no questions asked.
I mean,
no questions asked.
The logic way to do it, because he's their number one driver, winning races.
Yeah. See, now here's the issue, LCAB. I agree with you to some degree, but the problem is Max's big issue is he loses his consistency when he has to go wheel to wheel, right? And that's Max's weak point. And it depends on who he's going wheel to wheel with, right? I hate to say this, this is going to be a very, very unpopular opinion, but I have long suspected that either Verstappen has a real personal problem with Hamilton, or it even potentially stems from a degree of racism. I'm not sure what, But when he goes wheel to wheel with any other driver, he does so with respect. But when he goes wheel to wheel with Hamilton, he becomes incredibly ruthless and even dangerous, right? And this is the issue with Max. Like, he is consistent when nobody is around him, you know? And he is consistently respectful, but still aggressive with a large part of the field. But then that consistency, the one person who can truly, truly upset his consistency is Hamilton. And he can get Max to make unforced errors. Hence, Max going off at 180 miles an hour at Silverstone just a few years ago, you know, or Max literally putting his car on top of Hamilton's freaking roof, almost killing Hamilton, you know, back, what was it? It was Monza. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. You know,
and that's exactly why I think a few questions before. That's exactly why I say, and I think that the only person that can challenge Max is Hamilton. Because Hamilton can put him into difficult situations where he can lose his temper, he can crack on the pressure, and like we keep on saying, Hamilton is one of those drivers where he will wait for opportunities. He will give them pressures, wait for opportunities, and then he will bite. And that's exactly what Hamilton will do to Max if he lost on the pressure.
And that's the thing. Like, I would agree with you, El Cap, except with this particular issue with Max. Yeah. Right? Like, he hasn't matured past this point at all, in my opinion. You know, really, like, I haven't seen proof of it, but I have seen consistent proof that when Max and Hamilton tangle in a race, man, the gloves come off in a different way. It just it's not the same like when he is calculating against Norris like he was today. If that would have been Hamilton in P2 or P1 off of the start, he would have handled that situation completely different.
Sure.
Completely different.
We all know why, because we've seen it. And like, one thing that I wanted to mention also, that when they get into each other, you can see Max's driving style change.
Yeah.
A little bit, but you can still see, like, occasion, like when Hamilton is alongside Max or head to head, he becomes super aggressive. It feels like he becomes Lance Stroll in some way, right?
You know, he does. He becomes dangerous.
Yeah,
he absolutely becomes dangerous.
He will push people off the track. He will take you out.
Right. I mean, we look at Sao Paulo. Remember Sao Paulo? What was it? 2020?
Yeah.
Or was it 2020 or 2019?
Last year. It was last year.
No, sorry, 2020 or 2021. One of the two, where he literally pushed Hamilton like fucking 20 feet off of the racetrack.
Oh, that's 2022. Yeah. That's last year.
No, it wasn't 2022.
I think it's 2022.
It was. I'm pretty sure it was back when the Mercedes was black.
No, I mean, I know exactly which one you're talking about. The Senna S, where Max pushes Hamilton off the track in the Senna S. That's 2022. That's last year, actually. And 2021 I think was where Hamilton come from the last to first in Sao Paulo.
Let's say.
Either way, like we have seen Max doing that all the time. Like when Hamilton is alongside him. Oh, you're talking about.
No, it's 2021.
Which one are you actually talking about? Like pushing all the way off the track. Then that's
yeah. I'm talking about Interlagos 2021.
I was also talking about the other occasions on 2022 last year where Max pushes Hamilton off the track in Senna S.
Yeah.
Where in the first few corners, and then he basically damages Hamilton's car.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. I don't think.
But either way, on all these two occasions, you can just see how Max drive when Hamilton is next to him.
Exactly. I was going to say, and I don't think that Max has matured past that point. Just in general, I really don't. Like we've seen it consistently, throughout time that really when backed against the wall, Max, there's the whole concept of like fight versus flight. Max doesn't fight when he's pushed against the wall. He fights dirty, and that's the difference in my opinion. But this is why I will never respect him or appreciate him. For example, like Alonso, like you said right here, El Cap, right? That Alonso is very hard, very aggressive. He will push you to your limits, but he's fair. When he's beaten, he's beat him.
Give you room.
Yes.
And when you see Hamilton and Alonso going head to head, both of these drivers give each other respect. They don't run into each other. They give people room to race, fair race, and respect each other. But when it comes to Max, it's a different story.
Yeah, 100%. And like for me, this is the way it can be summed up was what Max said after he almost killed Hamilton in Monza. He said, "That's what happens when you don't give me room."
Exactly.
Right.
That's what he said.
That sums up his mentality, and I have not seen evidence that Max hasn't changed. Because think about it. Max has, ignored team orders to benefit Checo, even when it wouldn't hurt himself, right? He never listens to what he is told. Actually, he ignored team orders again last race to not go after the fastest lap, but he still did, just because he needs to always have everything all the way, So like he hasn't shown also that he has any racecraft, right? Like he bullies, but he doesn't have racecraft. And that's why I genuinely don't think that he is an accomplished champion. All these people who are like, Verstappen is the GOAT. They're looking at the stats, but they're not looking at the driver. They're
not looking detail on
what
drivers are doing.
Yeah.
In the cockpit. Like really small detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again,
that proves that there's a proof there.
Yeah. Alonso is a GOAT.
Yeah.
I don't care how many championships, for example, Verstappen wins, he will always never compare, for example, to somebody like Alonso for me.
Yeah, not in different league.
Yeah, they are. They are well said. They are in completely different leagues as drivers.
Yeah, as the driver legacy go, they are not in the same field.
Exactly. No, Max is a terrible loser and a terrible winner, genuinely speaking, right? So, for me, that's why I'm really, really excited at the performance of McLaren these last two races, the performance of Norris, really for him to get a chance in the spotlight out of, again, anybody in the new generation of drivers. He really, really is showing his potential to be a future champion. He has the brains, he has the brawn. Given a good vehicle, a good setup, he will be, a consistent podium, placer, without a doubt. without a doubt. Russell, I think, still needs some work. Hamilton just needs the team to listen to him with the setup of the car.
The design of the car, not a setup. The design of the car.
The fundamental. You're right. The fundamental design of
setup
the car
doesn't make any difference from what we've seen in the last 2 races. But I mean, they are still there to secure points. But still, the setup doesn't change that much. But if they change the fundamental of the car, then we'll see some battle.
Dude, I actually this is a good point. I think Norris would do very well with Mercedes as a team. I think Norris would do better with Mercedes than he would with, say, a team like Red Bull, genuinely speaking. I mean, as far as character and how the team operates, I think that this is 100% accurate statement. And
Hamilton, I think he still have 4 to 5 years to go. So
contract.
He's probably gonna fight the contract. So.
We'll see, man. I mean, I really can't stress enough how much Mercedes really potentially screwed his legacy by not listening to him on the design of the W13 and then trying to continue the mistakes that they made in the W13 over to the W14, so really, and God, what a sham, man, to see that car in black at the start of the season, and for it to continue to be black. It just kind of crapped all over the legacy of the black Mercedes, man. But
it's really hard to say. But one thing for sure, we are excited for the upcoming race.
This season is finally starting to heat up in a good way, and I'm enjoying myself. Man, I think we're gonna wrap it up. We appreciate you guys coming in here, man, and chatting with us. Today was just phenomenal. As far as races go, was it better than the Austrian GP? Let us know what you guys think. Or was the Austrian GP better with all of the track limit violations? Either way, without a doubt,
the track limit violation is just the highlight. Nothing more.
Without a doubt, it's been very, very exciting to watch. Very exciting, race today. So much drama from qualifying all the way through the races. Great overtaking, great battles. Just this is what we want to see. We don't want to see a single team dominating things. We want to see the positions changing back and forth, week to week, Yeah, man. I finally feel satisfied watching the race. I don't know about you, Joe, but I get done watching the race and I'm like, okay, yeah.
I mean, Red Bull is still dominating, but we're not talking about Red Bull in this era.
Forget about that. We're talking about everybody from
everybody else
below.
P2 is really our P1.
Exactly.
and Red Bull is the safety car.
Exactly. And let us know what you guys think. When you have a team that's so dominant, like them, maybe they should have a weight penalty. Maybe they should, in order to bring them.
The Indy cars doing all.
Maybe bring them back into the realm.
That's what Hamilton was talking about in the press, saying FIA should do something about this, car development thing. Absolutely. I mean, he's not wrong, but I know people are gonna hate him, but he's not wrong.
Well, I mean, dude, the even up until the last few races, they were at least minimum 10 seconds, in some cases 25 seconds ahead of P2, that's just too much, So anyways, that's where we can keep on talking about it, but we're going to call it there. We appreciate you guys. We really love that, you guys are coming in and talking with us, and letting us know that you guys really appreciate, we appreciate you,
Yep, no, I like that one. Upgrade Freeze,
yeah.
Championship leaders. Yeah.
Yeah, I dig that. So, man, I hope you guys are as hyped as we are, CBM, what's going on, brother? Love you, dude. Miss you. And, dude, yeah, catch us after the next race. If you guys noticed, I posted this early, so this is what we're going to do going forward, just so you guys can see it.
You guys might see some new setup on my background next.
Oh, exciting!
Yeah, we will save that for later.
Absolutely. Thank you all the guys who I know, CPM, Acid Test Kids, LCAP, you guys are the homies. And to everybody else, for English Lilies, Andre, Box Office, Ham, 9Ax, we appreciate you guys. We really do.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and we will see you after the next race.
See you in 2 weeks.